is our last story. Uncle Flinders Worthy and I have really enjoyed sharing our stories, our myths and legends, our fairy tales with you. And so we thought we'd end on one from Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen is a very famous storyteller and fairy tale author from Denmark. He died in 1875 and he wrote lots of the famous fairy tales. The Emperor's New Clothes, The Ugly Duckling, The Princess and the Pea, The Snow Queen, to name just a few. But I thought I'd read one you might not have heard before. It's called It's Perfectly True. It's a dreadful business, said the hen. It's a dreadful business to happen in a hen house. I wouldn't dare sleep alone tonight. Thank goodness there are lots of us up here on the perch. And then she told the story she had heard in such a way that the feathers of the other hens stood on end as she spoke, and even the rooster's comb drooped. It's perfectly true. But let's begin at the beginning. It happened in a hen house at the other end of town. The sun went down and the hens flew up. One of them was a white, feathered, short-legged little thing who laid her eggs regularly. A most respectable hen in every way. She settled on the perch, preening herself with her beak. As she did this, one tiny feather fluttered down. There's that feather gone, said the hen. Well, well, the more I preen myself, the prettier I shall become, no doubt. She said it only in fun, you know. She was the life and soul of the crowd, but otherwise, as we've said, most respectable. Then she fell asleep. But the white hen's neighbour wasn't asleep. She had heard and not heard, as one must do in this world for the sake of peace and quiet. But she couldn't resist telling her neighbour on the other side. Did you hear? Well, my dear, I won't mention names, but there's one hen I know who's plucking out all her feathers just because she thinks she looks smart. Up above the hen house lived Mother Owl, Father Owl, and the little owls. They were a sharp-eared family, and they'd heard every word. They rolled their eyes, and Mother Owl flapped her wings. Don't take any notice. You heard what she said, of course, and I heard it with my own ears. Upon my word, I don't know what the world is coming to. One of the hens, so utterly lost to all sense of decency, is sitting there plucking out her feathers, with the rooster looking on the whole time. Little pitchers have big ears, said Father Owl, motioning towards the children. Be careful what you are saying. Oh, but I shall have to tell the owl across the road, said Mother Owl. She is somebody well worth associating with, you know. And off she flew to spread the news. To-wit, to-woo, to-wit, to-woo, they hooted together outside the pigeon house over the way. Have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? There is a hen who has plucked out all her feathers just to please the rooster. She is freezing to death, if she isn't dead already. To-wit, to-woo. Where? Where? Asked the pigeons. In the yard opposite. I saw it, so to speak, with my own eyes. It is not a nice story to tell, but it's perfectly true. True, true, cooed the pigeons, and they immediately flew down to tell the story in the chicken run below. There's a hen. In fact, some say there are two hens who have plucked out all their feathers to be different from the rest and to attract the attention of the rooster. It was certainly a dreadful thing to do, what with the risks of chills and fever, and they caught cold and died. Both of them. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Wake up! Crowed the rooster, flying up onto the fence. He was still half asleep, but he crowed all the same. 3 hens have died of a broken heart, all for the sake of the rooster. They've plucked out all their feathers, and now they are dead. It's a dreadful business, and it's no good trying to keep it quiet. Tell anyone you please. We'll tell, squeaked the bats, and the rooster crowed, and the hens clucked. Tell, tell, tell. And so the story flew from one hen house to another, until at last it came back to the place where it had started. 5 hens. That's how it was told. 5 hens have plucked out all their feathers to show how much weight they have lost for the love of the rooster. Then they pecked at one another until they bled, and all 5 dropped down dead. A shame, a disgrace to their relations, and a serious loss to their owner. The hen who had dropped the little loose feather naturally didn't recognise her own story, and as she was a respectable hen, she exclaimed, "I despise such hens, but there are others just as bad. Things like that ought not to be hushed up. I must do what I can to make certain that the story gets into the papers, and then it'll soon be known all across the country, and it will surely serve the wretches right and their relatives too." It was put into the papers, all in plain print, and it was perfectly true. One little feather can easily become 5 hens. And so there we are, our last story. We'd like to thank you all once again for joining us here on a Saturday for our Storytime Saturday here at Lincoln Castle. For those of you who are entering the competition, good luck. And for the rest of you, we hope to see you soon.